Question: are you prepared for nuclear war by April? Did you hear what I said? Nuclear war in the next 60 days? Stay tuned. We're going to talk about it on today's edition of True News. Let's start with North Korea. U.S. Senator Jim Risch, a conservative Republican from Idaho, is warning of a war of biblical proportions between the USA and North Korea. He said the death toll and destruction will be beyond anybody's comprehension. Senator Risch gave an audience in Germany a very blunt assessment of the growing likelihood of nuclear war. He was a foreign policy panelist at the Munich Security Conference on February 18. Here is a video clip of the Idaho Senator's stark warning.
If this thing starts, it's going to be probably one of the worst catastrophic events in the history of our civilization, but it is going to be very, very brief. The end of it is going to see mass casualties, the likes of which the planet has never seen. It will be of biblical proportions.
Now, he spoke this at the Munich Security Conference just a few days ago, right?
The same one where Prime Minister Netanyahu waved the piece of the Iranian drone in front of the Iranian, was it the foreign minister?
Yes.
And basically said, you want a piece of this? You know, we'll give it back to you. This is the first time I've heard about Senator Risch's comments. This is not being reported widely in the American news media. But we have a U.S. Senator. This is a conservative Republican from Idaho.
Right.
And he used the term biblical proportion. And we're not, you know, this isn't an end time preacher, you know, whipping up some passion about the last days. This is a U.S. Senator who is telling an audience in Munich, Germany, this war is going to be of biblical proportion.
And this is the man who's likely to take over the Senate Foreign Affairs Committee after.
All right, Shalom. This is Yahawashi by Yasha of the GMS Lions Den Camp. I say Kal Halalyam Yahawah, bahasham Yahawashi, bahasham Harakakodash, Ma'amath. Double honor to the elder apostles of GMS. Shalom to you, Akim and Agwatim, and children that believe in sincerity and truth around the four corners of the earth. This is Daniel chapter 12, verse 1. And at that time shall Michael stand up, the great prince, which standeth for the children of thy people. And there shall be a time, a time of trouble, such as never was since there was a nation, even to that same time. And at that time, thy people shall be delivered, every one that shall be found written in the book. All right. So he says there should be a time of trouble, such as never was since there was a nation. And that's what the that Edomite brought out. That host brought out saying the senator was saying it's going to be a biblical proportion. And biblical proportion is meaning the Most High is bringing it. All right, he said biblical proportion. This is Isaiah 13:6. Howl ye, for the day of Yahawah is at hand. What day? Judgment day. All right, it shall come as a destruction from the Almighty. And that's how everybody going to know, man. They're going to know it's the Most High. They're going to know it's Yahawashi being sent back. That's why the scriptures say, all eyes shall see him, and all the tribes shall wail because of him. Therefore, verse 7, therefore shall all hands be faint, and every man's heart shall melt, and they shall be afraid. Pangs and sorrows shall take hold of them. They shall be in pain as a woman that travaileth, meaning crying out, lamenting. They shall be amazed one at another. Their faces shall be as flames, man. These same hosts, same people that's talking, man. That's what's coming, the day of cruel, of judgment, World War III. And it's coming quickly. Verse 9, behold, the day of Yahawah cometh cruel. both with wrath and fierce anger, to lay the land desolate, and that land is America. He shall destroy the sinners thereof out of it. For the stars of heaven and the constellations thereof shall not give their light. The sun shall be darkened in his going forth, and the moon shall not cause her light to shine. Right? It's not going to be any wisdom. It's going to be a famine of the word real soon. All right. And verse 11. And I will punish the world for their evil, and the wicked for their iniquity, and I will cause the arrogancy of the proud, Esau and 2/3 of our people and these other nations, to cease, and I will lay low the haughtiness of the terrible. Right? All these Edomites that's talking about it, they look nervous as hell, man. All right, this is Revelations 18:4, and this is what the hopefully elect are looking forward to in that day. And I heard another voice from heaven saying, come out of her, my people, that ye be not partakers of her sins. All right, and that's the day of judgment. The elect are going to be saved, man. All right, he says they shall scarcely be saved. And that's what you want to be a part of, man, the elect. All right, and it's at the door, man. You hear they talking about it. And that ye receive not of her plagues, of America's plagues. All right, for her sins have reached unto heaven, and Yahawah hath remembered her iniquities. And we in that day, man. All right, any day now, it could be any time. Reward her even as she rewarded you, and double unto her according to her works. And the cup which she hath filled to her double. All the punishment they put on the children of Israel, you know, now that cup they're going to drink double. All right. And verse 7. How much she hath glorified herself and lived deliciously, so much torment and sorrow give her. For she saith in her heart, I sit as a queen, and am no widow, and shall see no sorrow. And that's what America's saying. That's what Esau's saying. Therefore shall her plagues come in one day. In one day. That's what that show host was saying. The senator was saying it's going to come. It's going to be a quick war. If they do have a war, it's going to be quick. And this is why the missile's going to hit. It's going to be a war of fuel and fire. All right. No longer swords and, you know, a quick war with missiles and technology. Revelations 18:8. Therefore shall her plagues come in one day, death and mourning and famine, and she shall be utterly burned with fire. For strong is Yahawah, bahasham Yahawashi, who judgeth her. All right, because you got Russia talking about their new missile they shooting off at America. You know, they talking about planning on shooting off at America, and that shit can hit America in a matter of minutes. Quicker than you can get from certain cities in Russia to another city. It can get to America quicker. All right, it says verse 10. Verse 9, and the kings of the earth who have committed fornication and lived deliciously with her shall bewail her and lament for her when they shall see the smoke of her burning, standing afar off for the fear of her torment, saying, alas, alas, that great city Babylon, that mighty city, for in 1 hour is thy judgment come.
And how much time do you think there is? Because some in the past, I think people have talked about it being an imminent threat.
We talk about him having the ability to deliver a nuclear weapon to the United States in a matter of a handful of months.
What did he just say?
A matter of months.
Matter of months to deliver a nuclear weapon to the United States. Continental United States.
Did anybody here in America report this? This is a CIA director on BBC in Great Britain. And he's telling the British people, we think he's going to be, Kim Jong-un is going to be able to hit American cities within a couple months. But what do we hear in America? It's the constant Russiagate, they hacked the election, now it's gun control, it's gun control. Why isn't CNN? Why isn't MSNBC? But look, hey, forget about them. Forget about them. Why isn't Christian television?
All right, this is 2 Peter 3:10. But the day of Yahawah bahasham Yahawashi will come as a thief in the night, in the which the heavens shall pass away with a great noise, and the elements shall melt with fervent heat, and the earth also and the works that are therein shall be burned up. Seeing then that all these things shall be dissolved, what manner of persons ought ye to be in all holy conversation and godliness, meaning all your actions, all right? Keeping the laws, believing in Yahawah, bahasham, Yahawashi, believing in the Hebrew, believing you're an Israelite, all right? Following the doctrine of the apostles, all right? Starting from Apostle Tahar on down, all right? Believing the truth, all right? To the best of your ability. All right, verse 12. Looking for and hastening unto the coming of the day of Yahawah, wherein the heavens being on fire shall be dissolved, and the elements shall melt with fervent heat. Nevertheless, we according to his promise look for new heavens and a new earth, wherein dwelleth righteousness. This last part I'm going to read. Wherefore, beloved, seeing that ye look for such things, be diligent that ye may be found of him in peace, without spot and blameless. So you're going to come unexpectedly, man. And that's what they were saying. Nobody knows. They're not telling nobody on the news and on TV. All right, about all these different interviews that's happening and the water's breaking out.
They don't see the alarms. They don't hear the alarms. They don't see the warning signs. And the shepherds are blind.
They're not.
That North Korea will have the ability to strike American cities within several months.
Right.
Now, whether they do or not, I don't know. What I do know is I heard the CIA director say they will have it in several months. Why am I saying I don't care whether North Korea has it or not? Because he's sending the message.
Yes.
Several months.
And
several months.
That's the thing to note here. You went to Munich. That's not just simply Germans that are at that conference where it gets the military defense leaders from every major country in the world. And in regard to BBC, where does BBC air? Who watches BBC? Every country in the world. We're talking about Africa, Asia. It is a neutral platform, at least seen in Europe and the other parts of the world. So the message here from Senator Risch and CIA Director Mike Pompeo is not even necessarily that there's about to be an attack. It's warning our allies to be ready to support us in this regard.
That's right.
Rick,
now,
do we have any other people that can help us confirm this timeline?
Yes. But the next one, Jim Rickards, financial expert, has been a guest on True News many times over the years, the author of Death of Money and many other books about the money system, has been a consultant, shouldn't say has been, but still is a consultant to the Pentagon and the CIA on financial war games. The Pentagon brought Jim Rickards in several years ago to lead the Pentagon in a financial war game.
Really?
How the U.S. could be attacked financially. What would it look like if another country launched a financial war on our banking system, our currency, our stock market, the whole system?
Well, did we take notes and use it for someone else then?
Jim Rickards is an insider. He is somebody that the Pentagon and the intelligence agencies consult. They get his opinion, his advice, but that also means he's on the inside and hears things.
Right.
Yes.
So what has he heard?
He gave an interview, and oddly enough, this interview was recorded in Australia last October. Is that right? The
end of October, beginning of November.
But we're just learning about this interview now. It was done in late October, early November, in Australia for a gold trading company.
As good as gold, Australia. Yeah.
As good as good Australia. Okay, so he was in Australia. He's participating in a financial conference. There's an organization called As Good as Gold Australia. They did the interview, but they withheld the interview until now.
Okay.
Why? Why did they withhold the interview?
Well, if you're a gold company, and we know historically when wars are about to happen, gold prices go through the roof, commodity prices go through the roof. If you'd heard 5 months ago that there will be preparations for a war, you may want to release it right before that war happens.
So, Jim Rickards made a comment in October of 2017 in Australia in this interview, which has just been released days ago. And we have a clip from that interview. Watch it.
Yeah, I give a 70% probability to U.S. Attack, what we would call a preventive war, where we started, but we're doing it to prevent existential threats to us, to the United States, before the end of March. And the reason I can put a specific date on it, I met in Washington, D.C. A couple of weeks ago with Mike Pompeo, who's the director of the Central Intelligence Agency, the CIA, and with General H.R. McMaster, who's the National Security Advisor to the President.